Alright, hello everyone. We have a big problem in today's day and age with people don't know where to, how to, or even what to invest their money in. I have looked over the internet and I've gathered a really good way for people to invest their money if you're not the type of person who wants to really be, consistently checking it and like you just kind of want to let it sit and grow. So I have gathered information from really credible sources and a big personal investor who was the number one personal investor in the state of Nebraska, Rob Randall, and he had given me some information on how certain stuff works. But the thing I'm going to talk to you guys today first is the problem we have. And the problem I believe first more than anything is that us as kids weren't taught good enough that investments and your finances are going to be the most important thing you do with your life no matter what. I mean, I just graduated high school 2 months ago, and before doing this research, I couldn't tell you guys a lick of anything about a Roth IRA or investments or even where to put your money. And that just shows like I graduated not even that long ago. It feels like it failed me. And then if you do look up that information, a lot of people like to go to stocks, and stocks are great. Stocks are not bad. I'm not hating on those, but the thing with those is like I personally don't like to consistently check it and like want to watch the stock market change daily, and that's what you're gonna have to do. Otherwise, you'll lose a lot of money not checking it and not really caring, because stocks can change no matter what. And according to the Chaldean record, the stock market is owned, 90% of all stocks are owned by the top 1% of earners, and that's the really rich people. And those people have people like Rob Randall or personal investors that'll put their money where they need them to go, and they're smart and they do that themselves. So if you're not really well off, or if you don't have that knowledge, then you're kind of fighting a losing battle. I'm not saying you can't do it, but it's just not the best you could do to build your money. So, now that we've discussed the problem, let me give you guys some solutions. And the solutions I found are IRAs. Now, you have two types of IRAs, and you have your traditional and you have your Roth. And your traditional IRA would be for my older audience who's about 45 or older, or because of that is with the traditional IRA, you don't get your money taxed when you put it in, you only get it taxed when you take it out. So it's really good for if you want your money to build up for like 10, maybe 15 years, you won't have to worry about the tax bracket or your income either going really high or really, it'd be really good if it went low for you, but if it skyrockets on you. So that's why it's good for, the older people who don't have the time to have a Roth IRA. Now for my younger audience, it is extremely important you get into a Roth IRA now, because you have until you're 59 and a half, and that's when you can take it out, and that's when you can touch that money, or you can keep waiting. So you have all this time just to have that money build and build up and like get bigger and bigger, and then when you retire, you'll have a nice chunk of change. The only downside to these IRAs is that you have to wait a certain amount of time to touch this money. If you bring it out before, then you'll get a withdrawal penalty. Now the time you have to wait just depends on, like, for IRA you sign like a certain amount of, like you say, like I'm gonna put it in for 5 years, and then after that 5 years you can touch it. But if you maybe do like when you're 73, or maybe if you're like 63 and you wait 15 years, you have to start taking minimum deductibles out of those IRAs monthly. So they have a little caveat there, and you also have that early withdrawal penalty, and you can get around that by having certain stuff happen. Maybe like you want to buy your first home, they'll allow you to take that money out. You have, let's say you have a really bad injury and you don't have the money to cover it, or health insurance won't, they'll allow you to do that. Maybe if you're a domestic violence survivor, they'll allow you to take that money out and start fresh. They're not complete and total monsters. They're not going to stop hold your money from you and make you take that away for something that you can't control. And I got that information from the Charles Schwab Anchorage. Now, I've given you guys the information and some stuff about IRAs. Let me explain to you how they work. Now, at first, when I was doing this information or research, I didn't know how they worked, and I was kind of lost, and I almost stopped. But then I asked my mom, who works for Rob Randall, he won the best personal investor. Like, I don't know how they win it, but he won it last year, and he had given me some information from him, and this is basically how he explained it. So imagine you have two people, Bob and Sue. Bob starts at 25. Stu starts at 35. They both put in $200 a month at a tax percentage of 8%, and they do that, and then they do that until they're 65. So if Bob starts when he's 25 and he does it until he's 65, he's made about $96,000. Sue, she's made about $72,000. So Sue's only put in $24,000 less than Bob. Can anybody guess how much money Bob's gonna take out of his Roth IRA? Anybody?
30
What?
grand.
30 grand? Nope. So he's gonna take out $300,000, or he's gonna take out $700,000. Sue, she's gonna take out $300,000. That's still a lot, but she started 10 years after him, and she put in only $24,000 less than him, and he still made 2 times more than her, 2 times plus more than her. You know, and that's crazy. That's a crazy amount of money for just 10 years of not even really a lot of money just going into your Roth IRA. So, and on top of doing that, you can have a retirement fund that you can also build into that. So you just have so much money that you could have if you use these IRAs. And so he told me that, and I was like, well, how does this work? So I searched up, and Omaha's own Warren Buffett came up with a really good analogy on how compound interest works, and that's what mainly makes IRAs go skyrocket. Is he said, pretend like you have a snowball, right, and you put it on top of a mountain. It slowly rolls down the mountain, and then at halfway, it's kind of big. It's not too big, and it's not too fast. But as it keeps going, by the time it gets down to the mountain at the very end, you're gonna have a huge snowball. It's gonna be massive, and it's gonna pick up a lot of speed, and it's gonna go, and you're not gonna be able to stop it very well. It's just you're gonna have so much by the time it's done that you won't know what to do with it. And the key takeaway from all of this with IRAs and stuff, is that it's definitely not you're gonna get quick rich now. It's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of years, a lot of time, a lot of patience that you're gonna need to have for when it comes out, because it's not just gonna be like that. That's what you gotta realize. It's not gonna be like that. So, in conclusion, us as a society aren't taught that well on where to put our money, and if we were, a lot more people I feel like would be a lot better off. And stocks are great. Stocks can be great if you are, if you have that time and that knowledge and that, effort to do that. But if you're not the type of person that wants to be, always there and always, into it, you have other stuff you have to attend to, it's not going to be the best thing for you. I would highly suggest anybody over the age of 45 to use a traditional IRA, not a Roth. And if you are the age that you can start a Roth IRA, start one tomorrow as soon as possible, because you will only see benefits as you get older. You will only have, time, and you will always have money when you get older. Like, it's insane. So it sucks that nowadays, more than anything, people aren't born into generational wealth, and you have to make it your own. So it's going to be nice for when you're old and brittle to have that nice, cushy, comfy cash to lay back on and go on vacations to wherever you want to. So you just got to do it. Thank you.